Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Dana. If you are new here, welcome. It's been a while. I filmed the 14 days of sunscreen. You guys got a bonus 15th day. And then there was a wrap-up video. So all of that took place. I get a little exhausted after filming those videos. It's a lot of work for all of that. So I did take a little bit of a break, but I am back and I have so many empties that I literally, like, I'm gonna show you. This is one bucket. This is, we're not gonna get through that all in today. I have 3 of these. So you're gonna be fed in terms of empties for the next few months. I try not to put them out, like, I'm not gonna put out 2 videos like this back to back. So maybe one a month. I know you guys love empties. I think they're super helpful. So with all that said, we just need to jump in because you saw how much we have. So let's go. Okay, this is not going to be in any order because I just don't know what's in here. It's been in here for a very long time and I'm going to try to be brief. It's always hard. Everything will be linked below, of course. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. So first thing we have on the top is the ROCHE-POSAY Mela B3 Serum. This is a dark spot corrector. I really enjoyed this. I think I bought like 3 bottles of it and then for some reason I stopped and I don't remember why. It's reasonably priced. I think it's in the $30, but for something that has this proprietary Melasyl, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, ingredient from a brand like La Roche-Posay, I think it's worth the money. I do think that it's kind of, you know, certain people, their skin reacts better to certain things. So like some people, vitamin C is all they need. For me, I need something a little bit stronger. So something like this does work really well. And I forget, I just don't know why I didn't repurchase it. Maybe it's because I have so many products that I'm trying to get through them all, but I would consider repurchasing it. I think it's something that it does take a long time, especially for my skin. So you have to be very consistent. But I do like the research behind this ingredient and I would recommend it. The next one is an interesting one for me. This is the NATURIUM Multi-Peptide Advanced Serum. I couldn't remember the name. I've had maybe 2 or 3. The brand does send me PR. It's just very random. Like I'll get a package out of the blue and it'll just be this in it. And I don't mind this product. I think this consistency is really nice. It's kind of fluid, but it has a little bit more texture than maybe just like a clear liquid serum. It comes out like a white serum. I don't know if there's any left. Oh, so there was. So this is the consistency. And I do like what it feels like. I just don't see a lot of results from it. Now, you have to use, again, peptides. They're not going to magically like erase all of your wrinkles. That's not what peptides do. They do help plump, is that the word? Plump and kind of give your skin like an elasticity back. But I don't find that my skin really needs that. So when people talk about like these miracle peptides, I think they're a nice to have. I don't think they're, for me at least, a must have. And that's kind of how I look at it. So like I don't need one product with just peptides. For me, that's an extra step. I'm probably gonna fall off of that. So instead I like to have peptides with other things, if that makes sense. We've got a big fail. This is the Tower 28 Getset blush. They sent 3 of these in a PR package and I really wanted to like it. But first of all, this blush came broken. It's a very like light formula, so I think it's just more prone to break. But the packaging that they put it in was not sturdy. Like they could have bubble wrapped it, they could have done something. So I did try to keep it, but it literally falls apart every single time I open it. So like right now, I just have all of this. Can you see? Ah! Basically, it makes a mess on my desk every time. And if that was the only thing, that would be one thing. But this blush is super patchy. It's never worked well. Like even on a bare face or if I don't have a lot of liquidy products, it becomes patchy. And I've seen other reviews saying the same thing. Big pass for me. I did not want them. I gave the other 2 away. So no. Okay, quickly, briefly, I guess on this one. This is the Ilia CBN Triple C Serum. This has a very weird color. I did like it. I've talked about it a few times, but they discontinued it. So this one is well past its expiration date. I tried to use it up, but at a certain point, I felt like it was just making my face look orange or like a weird shade. So I was like, you know what? It's expired. They don't make it anymore. I don't need to just use it for the sake of using it. Okay, I have talked about this many, many times. This is the INNBEAUTY Project Bright and Tight Eye Cream. I have probably gone through 7 of these at this point. I have one that I'm using and one backup, and I think I have another one coming because I have it on auto renew, which is a good and bad thing, but I love this stuff. I found if I use it consistently, which I have not been doing as often because I have a lot of other eye creams, but if I use it consistently, especially if I use it like morning and night, the redness around my eyes, because I have very red eyelids, just kind of goes away. And it takes months. I'm not saying you're going to see it overnight, but I have seen noticeable differences. Now, a lot of people don't like this because I think they think it's for moisturizing. Like, this is not a moisturizing eye cream. This is for reducing any pigmentation, dark spots, color correcting. I mean, it's not makeup, but that is the point of it. It's not a moisturizer. I mean, you might get some, but like if you have very dry under eyes, that's a different problem. You need a different eye cream. So I think it's important when you are like looking at a product, if you're looking for something and this one is not promising that, it's not a bad product. It's just not the product for you. So I feel like I have to tell people that often. I don't really understand because it does say visibly improves dark circles and wrinkles. I mean, the wrinkles part, whatever, but it's a brightener. It's supposed to help with the pigmentation. So I still love it. I will continue repurchasing it. It's one of my very favorites. Then we have the NIOD Copper Amino Isolate 311, I don't know how you say that, serum. I had this last year, at the end of the year. I was using it quite often. This is a personal thing. I've kind of come to the realization that products like this, where this is your copper peptide, same with this, I don't like the one ingredient. It has more than one ingredient, but I don't like having one product that just kind of does one thing. I am much better at using stuff if it's like a multi-ingredient product. I just find that when I have too many steps in my routine, I fall off doing it. So this is one of those things that it also was like, you can't use it with vitamin C. It had too many kind of like caveats that I love how it works. And I love the idea of getting these copper peptides in, but I don't like it in one product. So again, I'm just gonna like say it's a very good product. Both of these, they're just not in my world like what I need at this moment. This one, I guess I was going to review these two side by side. This is the EADEM dark spot serum, and then the ROCHE-POSAY Mela B5 or B3. These are both the same thing, where they're supposed to help reduce dark spots. I found that they worked similarly, and I didn't find that I wanted to repurchase the EADEM. I just preferred the ROCHE-POSAY. I think it's kind of like one of those things where a lot of these products, we have such an influx of products these days. I don't think you need to overthink things sometimes. Like, find a brand that appeals to you, find one that's in your price range, and for the most part, if you're using it somewhat correctly, it's probably going to be fine. So I did do a split face, and then I ended up kind of trashing it because I didn't see any noticeable differences. So again, if you prefer like a smaller indie brand, this may be better, or if you are going for something that is proven with like the R&D of the ROCHE-POSAY, go for that one. I have 2 moisturizers from ELEMIS. I got these last winter, I think, when there was a sale on ELEMIS, and it was a pretty good deal. They are lovely. This one is the Pro-Collagen Marine Cream Ultra Rich, and then this is the Overnight Matrix Pro-Collagen. And they're both absolutely stunning moisturizers. The experience is wonderful. The smell, the feel of them. I just didn't find that they did something remarkable to my skin. Now, if I just had endless amounts of money to spend like $100 on a moisturizer, or I don't think it's that much, but they're very pricey, maybe I would buy them because they really are like spa-like. They're a luxury. It's an experience. I do love that. But did it change my skin? No, it didn't. And I have found that I like other overnight masks better than this one. I think this is good if you have very normal to oily skin, like combo skin. I think if you have dry skin, it's not going to be rich enough. Even the rich cream, this is the Marine Cream Ultra Rich, I don't think that's enough if you have super dry skin. So it's about luxury. If you want that, they're not going to be bad. They're going to be wonderful, but I just don't think it's worth it either. Now, let's talk about one that I do actually think is worth it. This is the Dr. Dennis Gross, what is it called? Dewy Deep Cream. I have a second backup of this, and I got every single last smidge of it out. Like, I wanted more and more and more, which I do have more. This again, it has this smell that is just intoxicating. Now, if you don't like fragrance, that's not for you. I personally think that fragrance is important in skincare. I don't have sensitive skin, so that's not the issue. But I think there's like this train of thought that fragrance is bad, and it's not, unless you have a reason. Now, if you have sensitive skin that doesn't like fragrance, that's fine. But if you just don't like fragrance because you think you're not supposed to, that's silly. It doesn't do anything to most people's skin, and it really makes the experience so much more enjoyable. And this is one of those ones that just, I want to like bathe in the scent of it. It's kind of citrusy, it's quite strong. I wouldn't say it lasts on your skin, the scent, but the cream is luscious. Like, that is the best way I can describe it. It is a reverse emulsion, so you're gonna feel it a little bit more on your skin. It's gonna leave like a little bit of a layer of film, which is what I love. So I use this as an overnight cream, or I did have one point last year when my skin was super compromised and it just wasn't, it felt like the Sahara Desert, and no cream, no anything was making a difference, and this one did. So I do think if you have dry skin, it is worth it. It's not cheap, so I'm not like trying to, you know, say that it is, but I think if you're wanting to spend a little bit more on something very luxurious, this is a good one. And I didn't even mention that it has vitamin C and lactic acid. So I think the combination of those and the hydration, it's like this one and done kind of moisturizer, which again, I love that. I should have grouped this. This is from NIOD again. So this is the L-Ascorbic acid, 30%. And then this was the copper amino isolate. This one, I didn't end up loving the texture of it. It felt very greasy to me. My skin is not sensitive to vitamin C. Honestly, I don't think vitamin C does much for my skin. So if it's not an enjoyable experience, if the formula I don't like, then I just don't use it. So for me, that was a fail. And I think it was not that cheap either. I should have looked through my little bucket because I actually emptied 2 of the copper amino isolate. Shows you that I like it. If you like a copper amino isolate or peptide serum, those are a good option. But for me, I'm, like I said a million times already, I'm just gonna try to combine them into other products. Again, I should have looked through my collection because turns out I had 2 of the INNBEAUTY Project Bright and Tight. They also have come out with refillable packaging now. So this is the older packaging. You used to have to throw the whole thing away. Now you don't have to, so that's nice. But proves to you how much I love this one. Now let's stick with INNBEAUTY Project because I have 2 of their refillable empties. This one is the Elastic Skin Firming and Plumping Serum. This one has growth factor and it is a very kind of like snail mucin kind of serum. So it's like, it like just sticks to everything. If you don't like that texture, you're not going to like this. But this is a wonderful, wonderful serum. But again, I just need less steps in my routine, so there's nothing wrong with it, and I have used 2 of them. But am I going to repurchase it right now? Probably not, but I think they do a lovely job of getting growth factors into a serum that is at a fraction of the cost of a lot of other growth factor serums. So if you're looking at something that's more affordable, you don't mind that like mucin texture, this is a very good option. Another one that is an all-time favorite of mine, this is the refillable packaging, is the Extreme Cream from INNBEAUTY Project. I've talked about this quite a bit. This is one of my absolute favorite reverse emulsion creams, similar to the Dr. Dennis Gross, but it's just a little bit more, I would say like, well, it's more affordable, and I feel like you can use it just more on an everyday basis. For me, I have normal balanced skin. I don't use this in the morning time, but I know a lot of people who do if they have drier skin. I think it's too rich for that. Like my face would just be glowing and dripping, looking like sweat. But if you do have drier skin, you can use it morning and night. For me, it's a night cream, super thick, leaves the film that I want, keeps everything locked in. Chef's kiss, it's beautiful. And then the last one of INNBEAUTY Project is their new Extreme Cream Eye Cream. You guys, I'm gonna spend a few minutes talking about this one because I have some thoughts. People, when this came out, this is pretty new. When this came out, people, I feel like at least in like the skinfluencer community on Instagram, who is a lot of who I follow, they were losing their minds about it. And I was like, okay, let's try this out. Tried it out. It is extreme cream, but to me, it's the same as the Extreme Cream face cream. And I don't understand, like, I'm not knocking this. This is a lovely, lovely product, but I don't think you need to buy an extra eye cream if your goal is that you have super dry eyes or under eyes. I think you can use a really thick moisturizer. We're not talking about something that's for pigmentation and your eyes are sensitive, so you need to use a certain one like the Bright and Tight. That one is for pigmentation, and so you sometimes don't want to use something that's as strong for your face on your eyes. But if it's just moisture, it literally makes no sense that you wouldn't just use a thick moisturizer under your eyes. Now, you may disagree with me, but I think it's unnecessary. Do I think it's lovely? Absolutely. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I used it quite quickly. I just think if you have any thick, creamy moisturizer, that will suffice under your eyes. As long as it's not like super fragranced and your eyes get like, they burn from the fragrance, or it has other actives. If it's just a thick cream, even like, I don't know, Aquaphor, you could use that and it would be fine. So I just felt like this was unnecessary, and I love pretty much everything INNBEAUTY Project puts out. So I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just trying to like think critically about it. Okay, let's move on to some Prequel, because Prequel is also one of my other favorite brands. This is the Foot Rescue from them, and I have, I think, 2 backups. This is one of my absolute favorite products when I go and get a pedicure, which I'm gonna go to today and get. They always comment that my feet don't need like a lot of scrubbing, you know, like to get the calluses off, because I use this. You have to put socks on over top. You can use any old socks. I have the Prequel kinds. I will also link like a dupe from Amazon, because you don't have to spend $1 million on them. But you put this on, put your socks on, go to bed, wake up, your feet are wonderful. And the reason for that is it has 15% urea, which is a moisturizer, which is nice, but it has 5% salicylic acid, and it also has 2% malic acid. So those acids are what's gonna help with the dry skin and kind of like eat away at any calluses or dryness. And then they're not gonna be like overly dry because you do have the urea. So this is 100% a repurchase for me. I cannot be without it. I think it's one of the best products, and it's very affordable. And then we have the Lucent C. This is their vitamin C serum. And I really do like this one. I've done a whole video. I've done, I think, many videos from Prequel. I think this is a very affordable, really nice vitamin C, and it doesn't irritate my skin whatsoever, even though it does have 15% L-Ascorbic acid. But the downfall of this is I don't like the packaging. I know a lot of people do like a pump, but because this is so liquid, when I pump it out, it just like goes everywhere. So honestly, I think a dropper would have been better. And I know like this is supposed to be better than a dropper, but I think when it's just like a pure liquid, it doesn't help. And for me, I just would have preferred a dropper, which I'm shocked to say. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. This is the Tarte Baba Balm. This is a moisturizer. It's been discontinued. It's a lovely, lovely moisturizer. I will link the video that I did the full review of it on, but I feel like it doesn't matter to go over it because you can't get it anymore. But, you know, a sad discontinued empty. You've also heard me talk about this many times. This is the Ray to the Root. This is a volumizing, which I don't believe, serum for stimulating and preserving hair pigment. This stuff works. I use this in conjunction with their pills, which they're not pills, they're supplements. I take 2 of those, and then if I'm being serious and I want to be good, I should use this morning and night. I tend to not do that as much anymore, but if I do start to see more gray hairs, I do start to use it more often. The more frequent you use this in conjunction with the supplements, I've noticed like my gray hairs have gone away. Now, will they come back if I stop using it? Yes, unfortunately. So this is kind of one of those things that you have to buy forever if you want to see the repigmentation remain. But to me, it's kind of worth it because I have dark hair. I don't have to dye it at all. So it's like, I don't know, I spend $90 every 3 months to get like the supersize ones. And I feel like, especially around my hairline, the grays that are there, and you can see them, like, look at that, you can see that. But they're like 2. I can count them. And I feel like had I not been using this for the last 1.5 years, I would have a lot more. So, you know, it's up to you if you want to do that. But I do think it works if you have within like a certain amount of gray hairs. And they have it on their website. If you have like 50% gray hairs, this is not going to do anything. But I would say I have like 2 to 5% gray hair. So for me, it's worth it, and I will continue to repurchase. And they sent me 1 bottle and 1 thing of supplements, and then I have bought everything for a year and a half. So definitely like it. And then for today, because I still have half of that bucket, and like I said, 2 more. This is gonna go on for a long time. But the last one, this is a sad empty. This is the Chanel Le Beige, what did we call it? I should know this by now. Sheer Healthy Glow Highlighting Fluid. I had to say goodbye to this, even though there is still product in there. But as you can see, this little, not doe foot, but pump, it doesn't reach. Like, I just can't get to the product. So I tried to take the top off, and now it won't go back on. So you know what? I was like, it's time. I've had this for a long time. It has served me so, so well. I have loved it for many reasons, many purposes. I can use it on its own. I can use it with a foundation or concealer. It gives me just the most natural kind of bronzed look, but not too tan. I love it. I have gotten my backup, which is I switched over to the Dior Forever Glow. This is the shade 4. But you can see that the tone is a little different. This one looks a little bit more orange. I think the tone of the Chanel is better, but this one, they only have this shade and a lighter shade. This one I think comes in 12 or 14 shades. So it's kind of hard to say that like you should be buying this one if it doesn't work for your skin tone and the Dior one does. They both give you a similar kind of look, but I do still think that like in the end, my heart will lie with this one. And I just love almost all Chanel base products. So it's a forever love, but if you want a little bit more nuance in the shade range, I would look at the Dior one. Okay guys, that's it. I have a lot on my desk. I am so overwhelmed because I've been using so many products. I've been really trying to use what I have and not repurchase. And I feel like I've been doing a good job, but now I need to make these empty videos because I need to get rid of this stuff. So I hope that helps. There's so much in the description. If you have any questions about these products, please look there. If you are inclined to buy any of these, it does help me if you use my link. I do make a small commission. None of it comes out of your pocket, but it does help my channel. So just consider that if you are gonna buy. So with all that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.